Blink and you'll miss it. This is Infect versus Ruby Storm in round 1 of the Kitchen Table Pauper Summer Tournament. You can jump directly to the games using the timestamps, but I wanted to give a brief overview of what we're doing here first. My friend and I are simulating a 5-round, 20-deck tournament. These are decks we personally think are cool, interesting, and or super powerful in Pauper. Since all 20 decks are unique, you won't see any mirror matches. Welcome to Kitchen Table Pauper. This is Infect versus Ruby Storm in round 1. Both of these decks are hyper fast and can win on turn 3 somewhat consistently, and turn 2 with incredible hands. Infect is looking to deal 10 poison counters quickly with cheap Infect creatures and a ton of pump spells, effectively only having to do half the damage needed to win. Ruby Storm, like its namesake in Modern, relies on Ruby Medallion style cost reducers to generate lots of mana with red rituals and draw lots of cards with red signature discard 1, draw 2 effects. Eventually the deck lands a huge elemental token with Siege the Storm that usually has haste thanks to first day of class. This Storm deck is unique in that you don't need to win the turn you chain all your spells together, unlike most other Storm decks in formats. Let's see how this match plays out. Infect wins the die roll, but has to mulligan to 6. Ruby does a double mulligan to 5. These decks are explosive, but fragile. Infect starts with a proxy for Hickory Woodlot. We have 5 of these between the two of us, but 4 of them are in Ruby Storm, so we have to use some proxies. Storm opens up with a Geothermal Crevice. Infect lands a turn 2 Ichorclaw Mirror, but misses the land drop. This happens a lot with Infect, and it's why Hickory Woodlot is so important. It's often all or nothing with this deck. Storm also misses a land drop, but going to 5, that's expected. Infect gets to crash on in unopposed with an Infect creature, which is usually all it takes. 2 Embiggens and a Mutagenic Growth push to victory. We're on to game 2. We joke a little bit about sideboarding. Ruby Storm has 1 Firebending lesson, but we don't think it's worth bringing in. Infect can bring in Ram Through as a form of creature removal, or Tormod Script, but depending on the build, the Graveyard Hate doesn't do too much against Storm. In hindsight, it's probably correct to bring in a couple crypts, but in the moment I felt the best chance for Infect to win was to not dilute the deck and focus on a quick combat kill. Let me know in the comments how you would sideboard this matchup. Game 2 starts with more mulligans, with Infect going down to 5. Storm plays a Hickory Woodlot and passes the turn. Infect has a turn 1 Glistener Elf to kick things in high gear. Infect plays a lot of 1-mana protection spells in Apostle's Blessing and Vines of Vastwood, so it's not always correct to play the Elf on turn 1, especially in a format dominated by cheap interaction like Lava Dart. In this matchup though, you need to be as quick as you can. It's a fantastic start. Storm plays another Depletion land on turn 2 and gets a cost reducer out in Thornscape Familiar. Infect misses a land drop, but is able to crash in. Storm can't really function without a cost reducer, so it takes the gamble that the missed land drop means Infect can't get there on this attack. They are right, as an Embiggen and 2 Mutagenic Growths push 9 damage across, resulting in 9 poison counters. This happens somewhat frequently in Infect. Many pump spells in the deck give +4/+4, and doubling them up on a 1/1 often leads to 9 damage. It can be a struggle to get that last poison counter across. This deck list borrows from the Poison Storm deck and runs 2 Thirsting Roots as a 1-mana proliferate to seal the game. Not this turn though. Storm starts turn 3 with 9 poison counters. It's now or never for Storm. They start storming off with double mana Morphos to draw some cards and generate some extra mana. It's really important to use a mana tracker when playing or playing against a deck like this. It's really easy to lose count of what's going on. Storm gets another cost reducer out with Goblin and Archimancer, generates more mana, and starts to dig through their deck with card draw. It's pretty cool that this deck essentially gets to play with Ancestral Recall in the form of Glimpse the Impossible. First wave class hits and it's almost over. There was a small chance Infect could have pulled it out with a top deck Thirsting Roots if Storm was not able to crash in with the Elemental this turn. But first wave class shuts that down. Pretty cool to see both decks do what they are designed to do in back-to-back games. Storm keeps going, generating more mana and drawing more cards until eventually they hit Seize the Storm with enough mana to flash it back. That's more than enough damage to take game 2. We're on to game 3. While shuffling up, we joke that my new sleeves for Infect haven't come in yet, and how it feels weird but so nostalgic to play a game without them. We really are back at the kitchen table playing and learning the game 30 years ago. Game 3 starts with yet another mulligan for Ruby Storm. Brutal. Infect has no turn 1 play, and Storm starts off with Hickory Woodlot again. Both players missed their second land drop, indicating that they have some spicy but iffy keeps. Sometimes you gotta roll the dice and believe you'll hit 2 lands by turn 3 or 4, especially in a matchup as fast as this one. Infect misses the land drop again on turn 3, but does develop the board with a Llanowar Augur. This promises some damage later, and the trample ability is really crucial. Storm plays a sack land but has no follow-up play. It's turn 4, and Infect finally hits their second land drop. They play Ichorclaw Mirror and pass. Looks like they might get away unpunished with their questionable keep of a powerful hand. Seeing the mirror and fearing that the writing is on the wall, Ruby Storm plays a full-cost Seething Song, followed up by a Desperate Ritual spliced onto a Desperate Ritual for even more mana. Without a cost reducer, though, it might not be enough. couple of impulse-style draws turns up a Goblin and Archmancer, and the Manamorphose to play it. But the turn eventually fizzles out after some more card draw can't find more mana to keep going. This happens sometimes with the Storm deck. On upkeep, Infect sacrifices the Augur to give the Mirror +3/+3 and trample, making it a 4/4. It becomes pretty apparent why they kept this sketchy hand, as the Mirror thunders across, backed up by 3 mutagenic growths and an Apostle's Blessing on red to push through the blocker. This deals exactly 10 poison damage and seals the game. Rancor was also an option here to make the Mirror a 12/10, which would then trample over for 10 infect damage. Both of these decks are insane. They have high points and low points, and they seem to mulligan a lot. Infect definitely took a gamble on game 3, but Storm was just a turn too slow to punish them. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more awesome Pauper magic.